I'm now completely fearless about the fact that I could die because I've been at that point. So nothing can intimidate me ever.
I want to welcome you to Humans in Business, where we go beyond a typical business video series, focusing not on the what, but the who. Today, I have the honour to be joined on my sofa with the wonderful Gina Miller. Business owner and activist, Gina is the founder of SCM Direct, an online wealth management system. In 2014, she started MoneyShe.com, a female-focused investment brand. And if that wasn't enough, she's also the founder of the True and Fair Foundation, which supports dynamic small charities. Gina has most recently successfully challenged the government over its authority to implement Brexit, winning in both the High Court and the Supreme Court. Gina has been named as one of the UK's most influential black women. Born in Guyana, is an Indian descent, and Gina is a mother of 3 kids and wife to husband Alan. She's a self-proclaimed workaholic perfectionist. Online trolls have even told Gina that she isn't human. Well, let's find out. Thank you so much for coming to chat today. It's an absolute honour and privilege to talk to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
So one of the things that I read about you online really touched me.
Oh, don't always
deeply.
read things online.
It was lovely. It touched me quite deeply. So I'm going to read it back to you.
Okay.
And I'd love to know kind of where it came from, because, you know, the type of person that would write a quote like this is clearly very inspirational. So I believe you said, we are all unique, but we are the same. We are kind, we have hearts and minds that care for each other. And that really touched me, because the whole reason for this series is all about how we're humans and actually we should do the right thing by people. Where did this come from? I feel like there's some kind of story or kind of values behind it.
I can't remember being any different, because the thing is, when we make life really complicated, we sort of think, oh, how should we project ourselves? And actually, what we must remember is who we really are, and listen to our own voices. I remember that underneath we all hurt, we all cry, we forget how human we really are. And that's one of the things I wanted to remind people, because when you get lost in the modern world and all the noise and all the digital, noise, as well as the sort of, if you like, the competitive noises, how alike we are. And it was just that statement that I wanted to bring people back to themselves, really.
I absolutely love that, because I think we sometimes are seen as these superheroes and we've got this armour and this exterior, and we're not, are we? We are just people all going about our daily lives. And I think it's great to stand for something, and it's great to know who you are. And I think I'm still figuring out who I am and who I am.
Oh, you'll
on
never
my
stop
journey.
figuring it out. And because everything you encounter has an impact on you. So you're going to be forever evolving and changing. And one of the things I really wanted to speak to is women, to say that we are being forced by the language of business and the language of society to become something that we're not necessarily are. And we think that we have to be a particular way to succeed. And you don't. The most successful person, male, female, whoever you are, is somebody who's being true to themselves. And, nobody has the right to take that away from you. But society does challenge you every single day, and you sort of fall into it because it's easy. But what I wanted to say is take a step back and remember who you are. Look at yourself in the mirror, really look, and remember who you are. Look into your own eyes and remember your values, who you love, how you love, and actually what makes you the person you are. If you can always remind yourself, check in on yourself, I think that's a better way to live.
Yeah, I agree. And actually in your book, the bit that really resonated with me, because it's something I battle with regularly, is this, I think particularly being a woman, this balance which seems to be between aggression and caring. As women, if we're trying to compete against men, we must have to be aggressive to compete with them. But actually that's not at all true, is it? What are your kind of...
Well, the thing is, language is used against us to sort of keep us under control. And so it's not, you're not ambitious, you're aggressive. You're not, you're shrieky. You're not assertive. And its language is used in that way. And it's not just modern language. It's been used through centuries to try and sort of pigeonhole women. And I think we ourselves have to break out of that and say, yes, I am ambitious. Take ownership of the word and dismiss the other words that are used for us. If we take ownership of the words, then I think we control the narrative. But also the fact is, when I get a lot of young women, young entrepreneurs who say to me, the thing is, Gina, I just want to go and cry in a corner some days because it's so terrible, this pressure I'm under. And I say, well, go and cry in the corner. It's okay. You need to be who you are. And if other people don't like it, that's their problem, not yours. You shouldn't worry too much about what other people think about you. I think if you can have a mindset which says, as you are, focused, this is what I want to achieve, and this is the way I want to live my life. I want to be at ease with who I am. Then just go for it.
And so I know there are lots of people that have inspired you and this book. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how Maya Angelou has inspired you personally. And I've got a really great quote which has formed a lot of the part of your book, which is, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise." That's pretty powerful.
It is extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, she was an extraordinary woman. And the problem is I don't know who to pick when I was writing the book, because there's so many. But for me, where I am right now, because I've got so many people in all my campaigning capacities who are trying to destroy me, if you like, and sort of not just my reputation, but destroy me as a person and the voice I have, that poem in particular really resonated with me at this point in my life, that I won't let someone write me off or grind me in the dust. Actually, the more they do that, the more I'm going to rise, because they are actually the ones I'm fighting against. Because one of the things I think is really important for us to remember is that if we weren't effective, we wouldn't be upsetting anyone.
Yeah.
You know, if you're ineffective, nobody really cares. So if you're actually achieving something, that's when you're going to ruffle feathers.
Yeah.
So take it as a compliment. Say, well, you know you're on the right path. So when people are very abusive or threatening to me, I sort of say, thank you, because you've just confirmed what I'm doing is effective.
Yeah.
So I sort of twist it around in my mindset.
So Gina, you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what values you look to instill in your kids and how you're role modelling those values for them.
So my eldest is 30, but she has special needs. So her mental age is about 5 or 6. But she's the wisest person I know. She has such incredible empathy, probably heightened sight compared to you and I. And the way we are sort of socialized, we sort of lose that heightened sight. So she teaches me every day about the path to goodness almost, and that clear sight. And so as much as I try to teach her, she teaches me. But then I also have 2 little ones who are 12 and 13. And ever since they were little, I talk to them about my life. I tell them, I believe in storytelling. Yeah. And I don't tell them the person I want to be. I tell them who I really am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and my values. And they are reflections of me. So I tell them about me so they can learn more about themselves and they can have confidence in who they are and how they're going to, if you like, embrace the world because of what I've told them and how I've taught them. So they're very close to me and I take them everywhere. They know everything about my life. I don't hide any part of me from them. They know me warts and all. And I think that's a really good way to tell your children the story of who you are, not an airbrushed version of yourself.
I know that you've been quite open about talking about those different personal moments. And I think one of the things I read online was where you very openly talk about domestic violence and what that meant in your life and how it actually has made you who you are today. Can you talk to us a little bit about that struggle that you went through, but actually how you've kind of come out of the other side and made you who you are?
Yeah, I think domestic violence is one of the last sort of big taboos in society because there are these myths that it's only women who are weak or who are not well educated or from poor backgrounds that experience domestic violence. And actually, domestic violence is actually about manipulation as well as physical violence. And when you've got someone who is attracted to you, but then spends every moment of every day trying to break you down, just to physically and mentally break you down, and you get to a place where you feel as though you're drowning, as though all you want to do is to die, and you survive that, you are broken. It's like a vase. You can be put back together, but there's always cracks there. You're never really that same person again. But it then takes you to a different place. And I'm now completely fearless about the fact that I could die because I've been at that point. So nothing can intimidate me ever. Like somebody I trusted and loved who felt that they had the right to own every part of my thoughts, every part of my body, and the fact that they could, if you like, break me or kill me if they wanted to. And so being in that position, I wanted to share it and I wanted to talk to it because a lot of women and men who are going through that experience think it's only them. And they also think that you can't escape and you can't recover. So I wanted, again, to show that you can be there and you can rise again and that you can learn from your experiences and you can come together and help others. So I wanted to use the book as an honest voice of my real life, not just the version in headlines, but through my failing, through my experience, help others to maybe heal their own lives. So it was a very personal chapter, and I have to say the lawyers were not happy about it.
I can imagine, but I'm so glad you shared it.
But I think it's really important. Anybody can go through that experience, anyone.
And even if they don't go through that exact experience, we can all in our own lives take that rising up from something that happens to you and empowering who you are today because of it, not from that becoming who you are. And I think that's really important to learn from those things. So I've got some quick fire questions for you. What's the worst, the laundry or the dishes?
Dishes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Big party or small gathering?
Oh, always small gatherings.
Yeah. Your favourite drink?
Water.
Favourite country?
Oh my gosh, I've got so many. God, I can't think. Probably Brazil.
Ocean or mountains?
Mountains. I used to be a climber.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, that's fascinating. Is it like rock climbing or?
A free climber.
Free climbing? Wow.
12 years.
I would never, yeah, that's incredible. Who would play you in a movie of your life? Anyone?
Only because I think she's just extraordinarily beautiful and her life herself is probably Halle Berry.
Humans are?
Extraordinary.
I'm happiest when?
I'm cuddling my kids.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm an entrepreneur because?
I want to fix the world.
The legacy I want to leave behind is?
Kindness matters more than money.
What a perfect way to end such a wonderful conversation. So Gina, just to thank you for being such a wonderful guest and having such an open, honest conversation with us. I've got you a little gift.
Oh, that's
just
very
something
kind.
little for you. So if you'd like to give it a little open.
I liked whoever wrote the tag.
Yeah, someone on my team has beautiful handwriting.
Beautiful handwriting. Yeah. I love beautiful handwriting.
Well, that's what my company is all about. Yeah.
Ooh, I have to try and open it.
Sorry.
I'm going to rip it if you don't mind.
Well, hasn't it? It's wrapped a bit too well.
Ooh.
Hopefully, we can get it. Oh, which way has it?
Open your eyes to the beauty around you. Open your mind to the wonder of life. Open your heart to those who love you. And always be true to yourself. From Maya Angelou. I was going to say it's one of Angelou's.
Yeah. I just have one kind of final question. So with each of the guests, we asked them to bring a keepsake box, but I found it really interesting that you don't have one. I'd love to know why you don't, so please can you share that?
I think it was that period of my life when I went through domestic violence and I went through that, all the terrible things that happened after that. I realised that material things didn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
It was actually what I carried in my heart that really mattered. And that makes me strong, and those are the keepsakes that I have. They're my emotional keepsakes because they carry me through life, and that's why I don't tie myself to physical things. I tie myself more to emotional, spiritual things.
I love that, and that's always with you. It's always
with me.
That's so magical. Thank you so much, Gina. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
And thank you so much for my present.
No problem. Thank you very much.